Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we're a couple weeks away still from the next expansion, which by the way, we still have a giveaway going on for 2 regular pre-orders and 3 mega bundles out of my pocket to enter the giveaway. Like and comment to the video, link down description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel. Every 1,000 subs we get, until all the cards are out, I want another mega bundle, so hit that sub button, make me go baroque. So I thought I would give you guys some decks, some more updated decks, revised decks, one for each class and standard, and some wild options that you can take to climb, whether it be to silver, gold, platinum, diamond, or legend, because yeah, we got till November 4th until that next expansion comes out. And I want to thank our sponsor of the channel who helped put together some of these deck codes and all that good stuff, HS Replay, which I use every single day since, like, I don't know, since I started playing Hearthstone. It's been forever. And yeah, let's hear the idiot talk about HS Replay. Hey everyone, Zeddy here. You know I use HS Replay every single time I load up Hearthstone, and I've been using the Hearthstone deck tracker ever since it launched and never switched. The HS Replay tier list is great to understand how the meta looks like, and I use it all the time to make my deck recommendations, and as well, of course, you know, to figure out what I should be complaining about. The Hearthstone deck tracker is constantly evolving and adding features to help you during your games. It saves your card collection so you know what decks you can build, or perhaps how much dust you need to spend to get it. This is why I can always find the deck for all the modes I play, which is standard, wild, and oh yeah, well, let's not talk about all the other modes that it'd be a twist to talk about anything else. Try the deck tracker today. It's free to download, free to use, and unlike this video, it has no ads. Help me not go baroque. So again, thank you to HS Replay for sponsoring this video. Let's get into the deck, starting off with the Tyrant of Standard right now, Warlock, in particular Quest Warlock, which I will probably talk about next week, I think, after all the cards and stuff are out, where I think it could get adjusted. I don't know, I feel like either the 3 mana reward or the requirement or just something's got to give on this, because it is such an unbelievably good deck. Basically the best deck in standard, where yeah, you get Escape the Underfell completed by playing 5 temporary cards. You have infinite charge, taunt, lifesteal, and then you have a ton of damage through Corpsicles, through Horizon's Edge. You got board clears and Hellfire. Really tough deck to beat, and it just never runs out of gas. So yeah, if you're looking for the easiest climb, it's never easy, but the easiest climb, I would recommend Quest Warlock before any other deck in all of standard. Another deck that's right up there that you could argue is the best, it's Warlock again. It's funny how Warlock just goes through these phases of just dominating. They're also dominating wild too, by the way. Regardless, where yeah, Egg Warlock with the Egg of Kelos buff, giving that Egg taunt, has just opened up a lot of opportunity, mainly in Warlock, for it to be good, right? Because they just have so many tools to destroy things. We're even running Abusive Sergeant in 2025. You know something's wrong when you're playing Abusive Sergeant. But yeah, you can even copy up the Death Rally. You can proc a bunch of the eggs. You play Archdruid of Thorns. Really hard to deal with all those eggs other than just smorking down early, which aggro is one of the better counters to this deck. You can destroy your egg with Ethy Imp, with Drain Soul, with Corpsicle, with Conflagrate. Help yourself out with Abusive Sergeant, Hellfire. You have, of course, Eternal Layover, and then you can like bring them all back again with Endbringer Umbra. Very good deck, very frustrating to face, very repetitive. Both Warlock decks are incredibly repetitive, but regardless, it's a good deck. And just be aware, if you do play Eliza and you have Eliza go off, make sure you've already drawn your egg, because it'll count as one attack in your deck. Holy Egg Bearer won't work, so be aware of that. So Warlock's the only class we're going to recommend 2 decks. Every other class will go through just one. DK, Blood Fyrakk, DK, whatever you want to call it, still doing really darn well, cheating out Giants, cheating out Fyrakk, whether it be with Nerlax or Maladar, can be really good. You can get the Giants out as well with like reanimated Pterodax or Corpse Explosion. I believe Pizza took a list very similar to this. They're all very similar to rank 1 legend. So you know it's a pretty darn good deck. And yeah, you'll see a lot of Lise in a lot of lists because she is just insanely good, whether it's for tempo, health gain, copying stuff. Really solid deck, and you can go absolutely no wrong. You just can't go wrong with it. Let's go with better English on that. And our Zilliax has twin module, perfect module. And I will say, I wouldn't recommend going out of my way to crafting anything right now, since we are like 2 weeks away from the next set, unless you just really want to get in there. So I will throw that out there just as a reminder. Fyrakk Rogue, if you have the new test portrait, which we've got here, which I really like, still doing really darn well. These are like the best decks. Like these top decks we're going over here are like, you just can't go wrong playing any of them. And yeah, again, very similar, cheating out stuff with like Sandbox Scoundrel, whether it be, you know, Narrowlax into a big dragon itself, or Ashimane, fill your hand with a bunch of cards from your opponent. It's just this deck's main struggle is the early game, which they're getting a couple new cards next expansion that might help out. I don't imagine Rogue's going to change too much from this unless we get balance changes, which again, we'll talk about in a future video. And Zilliax, again, twin module, perfect module, one of the few modules, or two of the few modules to not yet get nerfed in Zilliax. If you want to counter something like Fyrakk Rogue or Egg Warlock in particular, I believe Aggro, best way to go. Aggro D8 still trending very well. Play your early game like your Battle Fiends, your Sock, Puppet, Slither Spear into your weapons, all that good stuff, and just smart, right? You got Hot Coals for reach, you have Acupuncture for reach. If you can stick Zilliax on the board with Haywire module and perfect module, it could just kill your opponent, right? It goes to 10 attack, they don't answer it. That's Pyroblast for 4 mana. And yeah, just another really solid, very aggressive deck. Not a ton of the newer cards in there, but yeah, Infestation and Insect Claw, great. It's like we're running Mukla because yeah, they can't answer it. We go face, we smork, and yeah, I feel like Demon Hunter's gonna be smorking again next expansion. We also have Spell Damage Druid. I'd say these are the top of the top tier up until this point, right? Spell Damage Druid, really good still, despite Amir Dristle getting nerfed to 5, besides Chalice no longer going face, and the Magic Dollhouse not being 1 mana. Like, so many things have been nerfed in this deck, and it's still arguably, it could be considered the best deck in standard. Any of these decks, basically. Maybe not Aggro DH, but the rest. And yeah, Zilliax, twin module, perfect module. You really just want to find new heights, get that ramp going, get a Mirror Dristle, and then yeah, cycle through your deck with like Ancient Imbuer, gaining armor, and cards like Story of Barnabas can allow you to tutor those minions. And if you hit a 5 health plus minion or whatever, or 5 attack or more, you get that armor boost to plus buff the minion. Can be really darn good. And yeah, Spell Damage Druid still trending very well, where Alonius can really help blow your opponent up, especially at least go for that copy, get that copy. You're like doubling your spell damage. It's pretty darn disgusting. Next, we're gonna go to the lower tier stuff. So the stuff can still climb, can still do well, but not quite at the same level as the other decks. Protoss Priest still does pretty well, right? You're playing, you know, your sentries, your 1-drops, basically resuscitates the deck right now. This card is absolutely bonkers, bringing back those 1, 2, 3, stacking that mana cheat, getting the mothership out for really cheap, possibly blowing your opponent up with that. Pretty straightforward. Just want to draw your early game, and you got some buffing turns you can do with like Orbital Halo. Maybe you can even copy up like your charge minion off Chrono Boost with Hallucination and do some bullshit shenanigans. That can happen as well. It has some flexibility, but definitely not nearly as flexible as a lot of the other decks in terms of being able to win games in tough spots. Mech Warrior, pure scam deck. Some games you're going to win by just chemical spilling out a turtle and GG, it's kind of over. Or, you know, you get some armor and then play Part Scrapper and cheat out Testing Dummy, Qubit, win that way. But overall, this deck does not win through kind of conventional means. It's not a very long-lasting deck. Your main late game, you can do some pretty gross stuff with Umbra and Inventor Boom, but definitely more on the scam side, but really punishing for slower decks because they just can't deal with the death rattles and the insane damage this deck can push. And you have the Virus module and Perfect module in there as well. Nebula Shaman, pretty good deck. Again, pretty scammy, not nearly as scammy as a lot of the other decks. Your main scam is like Parrot Sanctuary and hitting stuff like Bumbling Bellhop from Flight of the Firehawk, getting a lot of stats, right? And of course, Hagatha, getting that on curve can be incredible to cheat out your Nebulas and do stuff like that. So very top heavy deck. You got like Nebula, Alakir, Wish Upon a Star, but it kind of works out. It's a really fun deck to play. Definitely not the most top tier in the world. You're gonna have games where you just get crushed quite a few in a row, and then you're gonna have games where you just absolutely crush people back. It's one of those, can be a bit frustrating, and it has twin module, perfect module for the Zilly Axe. Beast Hunter, really good aggressive deck, hasn't changed much again. Play a lot of early game beasts, try and stick a board, push damage with your jungle gym. You can give a bonus effect for a lot of your beasts, and of course, RC Rampage, incredible. Get that board fill. If your opponent can't deal with that, you're gonna blow them up with Supreme Dinomancy, and Esho can buff up all your beasts as well. Definitely, again, not super top tier, but a fast deck, efficient deck, could definitely punish people playing a bit of those slower strategies. The deck I got to Legend with this season with just over 50% win rate. I just enjoy the absolute chaos of this when I'm streaming it. Quest Mage, where, yeah, you want to complete that quest, the Forbidden Sequence, where you get that quest reward of that weapon that you discover a card, you play the other options. Really good with like Relic of King, of course. Yogg in the box can either win games or lose games too. You never really know. And it's just an insane deck, and definitely not consistent, definitely not top tier, but you just never know what's going to happen with it. And if you're like me, I did 11x bonus, so I can kind of coast to Legend. I had fun with that, but I do not recommend this other than, yeah, if you want to have fun and you have the cards, give it a go. Just be aware you're going to get destroyed a lot of games. It's just going to happen, but that's the chaos, or that's the journey that is Casino Mage. And lastly, I'm not going to recommend Murloc Paladin because Aggro Paladin has better stats, particularly Legend. It's not top tier, not popular at all, but play a lot of little minions and buff them up, whether it's with your Busy Bot, your Crusader Aura, your Flash Sale, and Smork. That's all the deck is really about. We got Treasure Gillion here. You still have a Murloc, so that could, I think it just gets hand of it all. Literally it. So it cycles, get a bit of a buff, and thins your deck. And yeah, super all in, super Smork, and very cheap if you don't have money cards and you know, you want a really cheap option. Like, I think Flash Sale is the only epic in the deck. Crusader Aura is free, so you don't have to worry about that, and definitely a more budget friendly option. So let's hit up Wild, where we do have a minor development, I guess. First, this isn't it. Libram Paladin, always really good. Cheat a bunch of mana with Librams, get there through Star Slicer, through Aldor Tenant, and then just cheat a bunch of mana. And of course, you have like Showdown, Prismatic Beam, which should not have been reverted, but they are, and Paladin is pretty nasty in Wild because of it. Discard Warlock, arguably the best deck in Wild. It's between that and like Librams, like we just looked at. It seems to be really close between the two, where yeah, you could just discard like Soul Barrage for 1 billion damage. You can get million stats with like Golems and your Walking Deads, or draw 1 billion cards with Malkazar's Imp, and you can stick some insane boards like Bone Web Egg from your Wicked Whispers. It's just a nasty deck that cycles a ton, pushes a lot of damage, and if you stick like a Tiny Knight of Evil, that could just kill your opponent. It's got a lot of ways to high roll, to snowball, and yes, it's really good, and it's mostly because Cursed Catacombs is such an absolutely cracked and insane card in both Standard and Wild. Batmask has evolved further from what we talked about quite a while ago. It's not all in on Elwyn Boar, but it does do the Elwyn Boar thing. But we also have like Old Murk-Eye, where you copy that up, it pushes 1 billion damage, and also the Demon package with Crane Game to get like an Observer, get a Mal'Ganis. You could copy those with Batmask or just cheat them out. It gives you another thing to Blood Bloom and stay alive, right? You could Blood Bloom Batmask, you can Blood Bloom Crane Game, so there's a bit more flexibility with this than the other versions we've seen, and it's trending as one of the best decks in all of Wild. I could also recommend the Demon Seed, but I don't like the Demon Seed, so I'm going to go with these two Warlock decks. I don't want Wild to be just Warlock recommendations, but like XL Demon Seed is up there too, right up there. Like, Warlock is ridiculous in Wild. Aggro DH is a way to go to try and kill some of these decks really fast and like mana burn turn, so they can't even play their cards, go all in with pirates. You're gonna win games fast, lose games fast. You do have a bit of reload with like Magnifying Glaive. You can glide and screw up your opponent or just draw 4 cards, which could be really good. And yeah, it is doing pretty well wild. Not super top tier, but a good aggressive option. And I just have to recommend Holy Wrath, because any deck that could just play 5 mana or 3 mana when you discount it with the Holy Cowboy and deal 125 damage to your opponent is recommended, especially when it has a positive win rate and got so many tutors and can really punish anything that's not super fast. And you got like Tight Litmus in there if you're facing Hostage Mage, which is also good, but incredibly slow, so I won't recommend it. And its win rate is not as high as these other decks anyways. But yeah, you kind of want that in there because that mage matchup is dreadful, and even then you're still probably gonna lose to it. But regardless, there you go. This will be our last deck recommendation video, unless there's like a surprise balance patch or something like that. But it had been a while, so I thought I'd give you guys some stuff to work with. And tomorrow will be the final day of reveals. Warlock Day. Rafam finally revealed, and yeah, he's gonna get his own video, and there'll be other review videos to go with it, but should be a lot of fun tomorrow. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.